Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our panel, where we're going to find out how to make products that people love. I'm your host, Kelsey Cheng from Caixin Global, and I'm delighted to be here today. Today, when our attention spans are getting shorter and competition is getting fiercer than ever, how do companies make products that not only serves a critical function, but also inspire lasting loyalty? Brands across different industries are building experiences, communities, and engagement and connections with their customers. And to share this secret formula with us today are three distinguished speakers. We have Yassine Saidi, Chief Product Officer at Under Armour, Zaria Parvez, Global Head of Social at Duolingo, and Eric Cheng, Board Director of Lanvin Group, overseeing brands like Lanvin, Sergio Rossi, and Wolford. Welcome, and thank you so much for being with us today. And before we jump into our discussion, I'd like for each of you to introduce yourselves a little bit more. Yassine, could you kick us off?
Hi, everyone. My name is Yassine Saidi. I've been about 20 years in the sports and fashion industry, about 9 years at Adidas. Then I moved to 9 years at Puma. And then I built my agency, which was really focused on product design in footwear and different fashion houses in Europe. And I joined Under Armour a year ago as a Chief Product Officer.
Thank you, Yassine. Zaria?
Hi, everyone. My name is Zaria. I head up social content at Duolingo. I've been here for about 5 years now, and really was in charge of building our TikTok, our Instagram, and Twitter presence, and bringing unhinged brands to life.
Wonderful.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Eric Cheng. I'm from the Fosun Group, which is the mother company of Lanvin Group as well. I'm very much focused in the fashion side. We own 5 brands. We have the Lanvin, the first couture house in France. We have Sergio Rossi, Italian women's wear. We have Wolford, which is from Austrian, and then we have St. John from the States, and then we have Caruso from Italy as well. So, but at the same time, we're also very focused in consumer goods. It's like spending a year over here today.
Thanks, Eric. Now that we've gotten to know a little bit, know about yourselves, so let's start with the big picture question. Whether you're in sportswear, ed tech, or luxury fashion, there's a difference between a product that simply serves a function and one that truly resonates with customers. So straight to the point, what are the key ingredients in making a product that people love? Yassine, could you start first?
Yeah, I mean, from the course of my different experiences with different companies, the common denominator, especially when you have that fashion house experience, that matrix of product by story, by distribution, it's what creates what we call this object of desire. Mm-hmm. Having a product that has a strong purpose, innovation, and innovation, not only innovation from a technical standpoint, but innovation from a design standpoint as well. That this combination of these two levels of innovation, and have a true story. Right? Have a true story that is rooted in the product. And the stories in our industry can be from a different form. It can be a story that comes from telling the technology, mm-hmm. like the purpose and the benefit of the product. It can be a collaboration. Collaboration has been very populating into our industry as a strong way of telling stories. And the last one is like your seasonal themes. Okay, it can be a print, can be an overarching theme from a design, a creative direction. That's the level of the stories. And then the distribution, which is the amplificator and the connector with the consumer, is like finding the right wholesale partners that's going to be telling that story, or reinventing our own channels to be able to tell those stories. I think multiplying this product story and distribution is what actually help us get to the chase and have this connection with the consumer.
Mm-hmm. So strong product purpose, yeah. Innovation and design, and then amplified by good distribution and channels.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Zaria, what's a good product for you?
Yeah, I think for us, it's a lot about surprise and delight and fun. Our sentences in our app are silly. Everything we do has that element of fun to it. So I think we really try to constantly innovate education, because education can be boring and it's not always easy. So our big mantra is like language learning is hard, so we make it fun. And that shows up obviously in our product with the sentences you learn all the way to our social with our Duo the Owl always doing unhinged things or showing up at unexpected places. I think like one of our favorite things was showing up at like the Barbie premiere, and Duo was like walking with celebrities. And I think people don't process that you can have that fun and you can constantly keep innovating, even on things that aren't as, I guess, sexy. When you're stuck with just, language learning, how do you keep making something that we always keep doing fun and exciting? So I think it's always surprise and delight and always doing the unexpected.
Wonderful. And we just spoke this behind stage, and it's your idea to kill the owl on Duolingo, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. He's
Definitely
still dead.
surprising for that. Yes,
For
surprised
sure.
a lot of users. So making product fun and engaging is also essential, right, to attract audiences. How about you for in the luxury fashion world? What's it like there?
Well, I mean, for luxury, I think the most important treasure for us actually is the heritage, right? I mean, if you look at why luxury, I mean, they're selling at that price point. I mean, talking about the uniqueness, craftsmanship, but at the same time, it's about the heritage. Like Lanvin, for example, is 135 years old, the French couture house. We have the Wolford. Wolford, actually, this year, we are celebrating 75 years since it launched. And then the next year, 2026, is the 75th years for Sergio Rossi. Of course, I mean, we still have St. John, we still have Caruso. But putting all these together, I mean, I do not see the heritage is opposite to the technology. I mean, we have the heritage, which is the foundation, and this is the foundation of what we call the emotional value. So we have a very good foundation for emotional value with the customer, but how do we connect with the customer with that emotional value? That is where the technology should click in these days. I quote an example. We have beautiful archive for Lanvin. I mean, we talk about 135 years old fashion brand. So you can imagine in the archive, we have pieces, beautiful pieces, which is over 100 years old, right? So, I mean, either we can do it in a very conventional way, do an exhibition, find a place like this, putting up, selling tickets, get people to see the pieces. But the fact is, some of the pieces I cannot even put it out because it's so fragile. It's over 100 years already. But with the technology, actually, we can start to build a virtual archive exhibition. And it's not only one way. I mean, actually, over the technology, we can interact with the customers. They can actually interact. They can really connect, with the brands. And this is very much what we need to do in these days. So use the technology as a tool and to build the emotional value. I think this is very much the trick, particularly now, everybody knows, because of the economy in the globe, it is very challenging for the luxury business. So it is no longer the way that it used to be. It has to be something like we need to support from the technology.
Thanks, Eric. So now let's take a deeper dive into each of your industries. Zaria, you lead Duolingo's social media. On TikTok alone, you helped drive the number of followers from 50K in 2021 to more than 16 million today. How did you do that? And more importantly, actually, is how do you convert this massive community into loyal users?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing taking a step back is a lot of brands is we don't realize that fear is expensive. So if you don't lean in, if you don't embrace the things that your community is saying about you, you're actually losing out on business. So we always kind of convey, like at social, at the core, we're the connection to our community. We know what our learners are saying about us. We know how to interact with them and how to connect with them deeply. And a lot of the times as brands, we try to deny what they're saying, because usually it's not the message that we exactly want out there about ourselves. And it wasn't until we actually leaned into what our community was saying and giving them quite literally what they wanted, we were able to get that user base to see that, hey, like, you're trustworthy, we want to engage with you, and we want to use your product. So it was a lot of conversation. I say the comment section is like our social brief. Like, people tell us what to do, and we just kind of follow their lead, and that's conversations allowed us to actually generate new business from something as simple as like a video that's shot on iPhone. And it's gone from something as small as like, again, shot on iPhone in our office, all the way to like movie premieres, to brand deals, and things that you wouldn't expect of a brand itself. And we've pretty much created a celebrity within our brand that people want to partner with and engage with. So it really was about giving the learners exactly what they wanted and constantly feeding into that human insight that like language learning is hard, so we're going to make it fun no matter how we go about that. And yeah, since then we've just grown and we just keep trying to find new ways to surprise and delight.
Very nice, Zaria. Fun, engaging, and understanding really what the customer wants.
Yeah.
Eric, you touched on this a little bit just now. So Lanvin is navigating a very complex luxury market these days. So how does the group balance heritage and innovation? You just talked a little bit just now to maintain the appeal across all generations.
Yeah, I think again, I mean, in these days, because in our industry, in the past, we put a lot of emphasis on the heritage, on the craftsmen, and it makes the industry is one of the most conservative industries amongst all, because I mean we put a lot of talking about the craftsmanship. But I mean, if you look at these days, right, I just call a very realistic example, so which we're talking about the product development. We have a very long product development cycle. So if you sitting here right now, today is the February, and then we are start actually already developing the spring-summer collection for the next year on 2026 because of the production cycle. And part of that is because of we are not using technology. We're still using human eyes and human to judge, to produce a lot of samples, and then to pick which one actually we should be used. But in fact, I mean, with today's, actually we're seeing with the data, with the AI data analysis, actually we can come up also with the samples on the screen, which is what exactly we need, rather than produce the samples physically, which is also not eco-friendly as well, right? So, and then it shortened the time by 3 months, and actually it can shorten the whole life cycles. Now, the good thing for that is, I mean, we can actually predict, or actually we can meet up with the customer what they want in a much more accurate way. Because I mean, I cannot really tell what the customer actually they want for 2026 in spring summer. Yeah. I mean, it's after 1 year. I do not think anyone can actually have that kind of like prediction, right? So, in most of the time, in today's, we see actually technology, the AI, is something that we really should head to. But again, I need to emphasize is like we do not see the technology is to replace what these people they are working as their expertise in the industry, but you know I mean is to support and make it more friendly. And the very important part is we produce the products that actually the customer they want. Yeah. I think this is well, I can quote hundreds of all these examples, but I mean today's I mean this is really like to share with you. I mean, the fashion industry is evolving, and it's no longer just the fashion industry in a boutique stores, and that's it. I mean, it is completely different, you know. I mean.
Thank you, Eric. So harnessing the technology, but not to replace the expertise that's required in heritage brands. Yeah. So, Yassine, you're approaching your 1-year anniversary at Under Armour. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, stepping into this role, you likely had a vision where you wanted to take the brand. How has that evolved in the past year, and how do you foresee where you want to take the brand?
Just going back to Eric's point, he's working in fashion about 12 months, so he's working on Spring Summer 27. We're working on Spring Summer 2026. We're working on Spring Summer 27. It's almost 2 years in advance, which makes it very, very difficult when it comes to defining a vision for a brand. Yeah. You have to work so much in advance, and the data that you're using for your consumers sometimes are invalid because you're just too far away. So the vision, it's been a year, that I've been at the company, but one of the objectives that I had, which I think we get to a pretty good place, is the brand is born from an innovation that was a need from an athlete, that was this compression shirts. Okay, that was basically the first product that the brand invited, and the brand was always known for technical innovation. And what I brought with a new design team is like that design innovation that's going to be attached to that technical innovation. So then we get to a level of product that is more appealing, but very true to the brand from a DNA of being very technical and very innovative. I think we get to the point starting for winter 25, and the product will be launching in a couple of months from now. That objective one. Objective two was to reset the team. The team was very much working into a divisional approach. We had an apparel team, a footwear team, very much like fashion houses actually work. And we turned it into a more category approach, like having a running team, having a training team, having a football team. That's very think and to win the consumer, okay? And because we're talking about being culturally relevant, but there's a culture in running. There's a culture in training, there's a culture in football. And I think the team needs to really deep dive and understand all this culture, because there's also applied to social.
Yeah.
The way you apply social for a running handle, it's very different from a social that you apply on sportswear, for example. So I think it's like making these adjustments from an organization and bringing that design innovation to the mix will get us to a pretty good place.
Thank you, Yassine, for sharing that. Now, let's look ahead a little bit. How do you see the future of consumer engagement changing in your respective industries? And what strategies are you pursuing to stay ahead? Eric, what's your take?
Well, I think there's two ways we shall look at it. Consumer engagement, of course, I mean, we're always talking about the online, the offline, omni-channels. But in fact, actually, as I shared in my previously, I mean, most of the time now, we are still engage our customers through the retail stores. So where you find us in department stores, right, in the Place Vendôme or in Dubai Mall. I mean, but I'm seeing actually now we shall actually engage with the customer in a more interesting way. For example, actually we start looking into working together with ski resorts.
Okay.
And when you sell your collection, I mean, most of your customers, depends on the season, of course. I mean, the ski resorts, they need the products over there. And, I mean, so the hotels, and, I mean, that is something can be interesting for the customer rather than just, I mean, in the store, even like a cruise ships, right? I mean, this can be interesting. In fact, actually, in China, we have a very interesting tourism train. So it's like the Oriental Express. You spend 5 days on the train. It runs through really scenic view. It's very interesting tour. And then we can even actually launch the products on that train because you have your customer, the right customer, spending 5 days over there with you, right? And then the other thing is we need to look at how not really diversify the products, but to engage the customers. For example, we actually start talking to different parties to have the Lanvin hotel. And the Lanvin can be the high-end residence, the spas, restaurants. The reason why we're talking about that, because it's all about engaging with the customers. Not only thinking about like, okay, we need a product with a hotel named Lanvin, but it's more like, because the customer, when they stay there, I mean, they can have much more immersive experience that actually they can share, the vision, they can really to experience the brand.
Okay.
So
more of collaboration, bringing experiences
it's more on
to
collaboration.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we are not expert in the hospitality,
Yeah.
we're not expert in F&B operations, but there's more on collaboration. But it's an interesting way that actually how we engage with our customers.
Thank you. I think you also mentioned collaboration in the beginning, right? On how what you see makes a great product. Anything to add for that? So consumer changing preferences.
I mean, what we want to build and what we're working towards now is building an ecosystem for consumer.
Okay.
Like immersing our consumer into the Under Armour world from very traditional grassroots, starting from every owner or founder of brand started, is like getting to young athletes and young consumer and showing them how our products perform, to the experience in retail, to the experience digitally. It's like building that ecosystem where they see the brand interacting with them at a different time of the day and a different stage of their life. So that's what we're actually working towards. And AI is going to be a great tool for us in being able to achieve those.
Could you just quickly tell us how is AI going to help do that?
I mean, AI at this point is really used for us, and in my capacity as working on product on design. It's like we managed to get data from AI on the direction of design should go, and our design team has fully integrated AI into the whole process.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And it helps us also on sampling. Okay, we're going to sample only the product that really go to the market, which is usually 40 or 60, 50% of what we actually create.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Yassine. How about for you, Zaria?
Yeah, I think in social for us, like our #1 objective now is to minimize time from ideation to post, to always be on top of culture, be relevant, and constantly being in conversation with what's going on. So I think for that, we've actually created different systems of how fast we can get content out there versus like everyone on our team knows how to create. We don't depend on other external places to make things for us. We've actually created our own like digital systems where we have a cast of characters. We've created these programs with our engineers where we can get them to pretty much say anything. So we work with them on the social sphere. If you need an animated character, now instead of going through a whole animation team, there's this automated computerized system that can get any character to say whatever you want them to say in whatever background, and then that goes out there. And then I think another bigger thing is like the biggest struggle with language learning is you have to speak it, and that was something we've always that was a hurdle for us as an app where you would often do the lessons, but you're never practicing really speaking.
I see.
So with AI, we've launched Lily Video Call, where you can video call one of our world characters, Lily, and actually have a conversation, and we've been promoting that more through social as well, and fun and innovative ways of getting her to say funny things to you in different languages.
That's so cool,
Yeah.
really cool. Thank you so much for sharing those insights. And we've come to the end of our conversation today. A big thank you to all three of our speakers for a fantastic conversation and for giving so much great advice to our audience. So our conversation today has highlighted what it takes to make products that people genuinely love, the importance of innovation, technology to engage the customer. And we've also explored how company leaders like yourselves are thinking about consumer behavior in the future. So whether you're a founder who is looking to engage your users a bit more, or if you're an investor looking for a great product, we hope this session has been helpful to you. Thank you again to our speakers for your contributions, and thank you all for joining us. Enjoy the rest of Web Summit Qatar, and hope to see you in our next conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.